Investigations into alleged 7 billion shillings fraud at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority took a new twist Friday, with suspended Chief Executive Officer John Manjari throwing the blame on the Health Ministry, which he says was instrumental in determining who delivered medical supplies. Appearing before Senate Ad Hoc Committee, the suspended CEO told the committee that the authority received directives on more than one occasion from unnamed persons based at Afia House, advising them on where to procure COVID-19 equipment. Let's take a look.
As investigations into the alleged fraudulent procurement of medical supplies by KEMSA, fresh allegations into the scandal took a different trajectory, with the suspended KEMSA CEO John Manjari telling the Joint Senate Ad Hoc Committee that the agency lacked objectivity in procuring COVID-19 equipment, as the decisions were guided by advice from the Afia House.
There's a pandemic. No one in your pre-qualified can be able to supply you with the goods. You then did not choose to talk to the Ministry of Health or any other body, the Council of Governors, until recently, when the KEMSA Act was amended, had their suppliers who were supplying them with goods. You chose not to talk to them as required by the Act. You proceeded and just allowed some very innovative businessmen to supply with that KN95, which was not anywhere. Is that not what you're saying?
No.
Well, then what exactly are you saying if you ignored Section 56(2) of the Act?
Susan Mochache.
Yes.
There were requests from the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable...
Written or by phone call?
Either phone calls, most of them SMSs and phone calls.
Yes.
We did have from the National Emergency Response.
Which CS? It's good you give us names for the record.
We've said the Honorable Mutai Kagwe.
Yes.
And we also got the emergency response team that was handling COVID.
Who specifically?
There was an engineer, there was a brigadier, somebody, I can't remember his name, who was heading that section.
Okay.
I remember at one stage they came direct to KEMSA.
Yes.
And they wanted specific items which we didn't have. And we were told we need to respond to that aspect. And if we are not able to respond in that warehouse, they'll come and take it over.
And I recall that the ministry, for instance, asked us on the phone, followed by instructions, or by instructions to procure 120 beds for Bagadi Hospital, because it was going to be declared an isolation center. We had no budget at that moment for 120 beds to be taken to Bagadi, but we had to make the beds available because there was a pandemic.
Senators putting the board chair into the spotlight as to why the board failed to account for the entire 7 billion shillings kitty, only choosing to account for 4.6 billion shillings, a figure that left out donor funds.
It will be the use of the board for this company while Kenya is losing money and building billionaires.
Chair. You guys do not live en masse. The ministry could request for a board meeting, emergency board meeting, and you could discuss all those issues. But those things were not done. So let's forget all the other issues. Things were not done proper, Chairman.
Do you authorize, as a board, did you authorize the CEO to commit KEMSA on this COVID purchases?
No.
You did not authorize
No, we did not.
The CEO?
We did not.
KEMSA was subsequently required to explain why top officials ignored advice, requiring them not to order after their budget was exhausted.
How long were you supposed to continue committing the authority? Because we have letters here which tell us that the Director of Procurement repeatedly requested you to stop issuing the letters. First one was on April, then May, second on May, a third one in June, and you continued issuing the commitment letters at the same price as the earlier letters. So was there somewhere where the board failed to oversight or something? Maybe you can explain that.
The committee has now directed KEMSA to provide documents on the status of the authority's relationship with foreign donors that it says have threatened to withdraw their support, as well as proof of 6.2 billion shillings of stock it claims is in its warehouse. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.